I have exciting news for you. From the week of December 5th until the 15th, you will have the opportunity to win an all access lifetime membership pass to the personal development school to give yourself the gift of healthy relationships this holiday season. We will be selecting five lucky winners to receive special prizes. And all you need to do is to be subscribed to our YouTube channel, like this video, and then click the link in the description and register your email in order to be entered to win. There are also bonus points for those who comment below on how a lifetime membership to our school could really benefit them or impact their lives. So make sure you check your email on December 16th to see if you win. Again, we'll have five winners that get all sorts of different access and prizes to PDS. And if you don't hear back from us, please don't worry. Everyone who enters will also still receive a small gift from myself and the Personal Development School as a thank you for being a valuable member of the PDS community. And all of the details are listed in the description of this video below. Best of luck. So I have had countless conversations over the years with anxious, preoccupied individuals who have everything going for them. They're amazing people, they're charming, they're charismatic, they're in a great place in their personal and professional life, except for when it comes to dating. And usually these people will show up, start the dating stage of relationships, pour into, the person in front of them and just show up really well, asking all these great questions and, really engaging and making an effort to try to get to know somebody. And oftentimes they'll make it to date two, three, four, maybe five or six. And then suddenly the person pulls away. They shut down. They don't want to continue dating. They reject the AP. And the AP is sitting there feeling like, what did I do wrong? And why does this keep happening? So in this video, I'm going to talk about three really important things that you can do to be chased instead of ghosted or let down or disappointed by others in that dating stage of relationships. And we're going to talk about these things from a healthy perspective, not like how to get somebody to, how to manipulate somebody to chase you or, how to pretend that you're somebody who you're not. We're actually going to talk about really healthy dating patterns that will in turn have somebody show up and, chase after you instead of the other way around. So, first and foremost, it is of the utmost importance that in the dating stage of relationships, you have boundaries with how often you text and in turn, making sure that you don't just hone in so strongly on the dating part of your life when you meet somebody, but instead have boundaries that support all seven areas of life. What often happens, and one of the biggest reasons that anxious, preoccupied individuals get broken up with or left in that dating stage of relationships is because they keep getting into relationships with people who are avoidant or non-committal or have some subconscious fears around that. And then APs, when they're interested in somebody, they really pour into somebody, and sometimes it's a little too much too soon. And so what ends up happening is that more avoidant person feels like, okay, wait, there's all this pressure coming on for me really fast, and it scares them. Anybody with any kind of avoidant leaning attachment style, an FA, a dismissive avoidant, a secure with a slightly DA side to them, any of that, they're always operating from their feelings minus their fears. And so you get really into your feelings, but then as soon as there's a lot of like moving quickly, pressure on really fast, talking about the future too much too soon, making those commitments, as soon as that shows up a lot, that person, it trips their fears wire before they actually have the ability to really develop strong feelings. And especially for people with a little bit of avoidance in their attachment style, they take a little bit longer to really be open to opening up their feelings. It's like they kind of want to repress those feelings for a little bit at first and keep themselves safe and protected because their own feelings scare them. And so when that movement happens too fast and there's too much focus on the relationship too early, even though you might be showing up as an anxious, preoccupied person, so well, and you're so engaging and the dates go great and you have great conversations and everything's smooth, it's so easy to trip that wire in somebody else. And anxious people and avoidant people often attract each other. So this can be a huge part of the reason you see this dynamic unfolding quite frequently. And when I say the seven areas of life, I mean like, look at the things that matter to you outside of a relationship, where you might have that sort of inkling to become preoccupied with somebody, hence the name anxious preoccupied. and just kind of like be fixated on them early on once you've really developed like an attraction to someone and then spent a little bit of time with them. It's actually in your own best interest to make sure you're balanced in all the areas. Like, yes, think about the person, be excited about the person, but make sure you're keeping up with your friends, keeping up with your career, keeping up with your relationship to money, and making healthy financial decisions. Sometimes I see APs like spend all their money on trying to like impress the person that they're dating, like buy all the new clothes or, whatever it might be. So just staying really clear, like friendships, family relationships, career, financial, your own personal growth and emotional self, and making sure that you're staying in touch with your learning and your intellectual needs. So all these other things outside of just the romantic relationships, your physical health and well-being, all of those things, your spiritual self, like making sure that you carve out time to be just as focused on those things. And then the relationship should fit into your life with all of those things, not become the highest priority of your life. By having good boundaries around that, it will stop you from tripping that fear wire, but also help you stay in a healthy space when dating. Number two is expressing your needs early on. Sometimes anxious preoccupieds can people please too much in dating. And actually, if somebody's too agreeable, it tends to be a turnoff for most people. When somebody's too agreeable and you're trying to date them, it's like you don't know who they are. Like, they say yes to everything I want to do. They love everything I love. Like, but who are you? Who are they? It can feel like it's hard to really bond with somebody at a subconscious level. And if somebody's more avoidant, too much agreeability actually tends to trip those fear wires again, like, oh, too much too soon. Or, people pleasing tends to push people away by the same token if they're more avoidant. So what ends up taking place is by you people pleasing, not only do you self abandon, but you also are more likely to turn somebody off in the dating stage. So when you instead express your needs, and I don't mean, and I'll make a separate video about this, I don't mean express your needs like, here's what I need from you. We're on date number one. You better meet all these needs. Not like that. But say things that you like and appreciate. Hey, when I'm dating somebody, I love consistency. Or, I really appreciate open communication. Or I really like when people make an effort and put in that effort when dating. And when you talk about your likes and dislikes, it's almost like you're taking your needs and you're converting them into the things you appreciate, your likes, your dislikes. You're sharing your needs sort of in the form of your opinions, right? You're saying like, these are my opinions. These are my, the things that I enjoy and really care about. And it's giving you a strong, structured sense of self. And it's actually that's part of what we're looking for when we date people. We're trying to see who they are, right? We're trying to see like, who is this person seriously? So by expressing your needs in that way, not saying I need you to do all these things, because we ultimately don't necessarily do that much direct needs expression until we're in like the commitment stage. It's actually not the commitment stage. It's once we've committed to the relationship, which puts us into the honeymoon stage of the relationship. I have other videos on this channel about all the stages of dating. Don't worry about that right now. Once we are in a stage where there's some sort of commitment between two parties, that puts us into that honeymoon stage of the relationship, because we're together now, we're exclusive, we're really connected. Once that's there, then we can say what we need from each other a little bit more. But early on, express what you need, but just don't say it in the way where it's going to say, it's going to make it seem like you have to um, get somebody to show up for you in the way that you're hoping, right? It's like the person isn't supposed to sit on a date and say on date number two, I need you to call me 5 days a week, right? It's instead like, hey, phone conversations really big to me when dating. So see how I just like change, instead of saying it so directly, like I would in a deeply committed romantic relationship, when I'm just starting to date somebody, say what's important, what's valuable to me, what I care about, what I'm looking for. And then it puts that focus and attention back on like, oh, this is what I have to do for you. Like, am I a good fit for you? Instead of the other person kind of holding all that power. And it's like you just trying to please them the whole time, because that's the natural way anxious preoccupieds tend to participate and show up in relationships. So it's really healthy. And it's an important part of you learning to vet somebody else as much as they're vetting you. And that brings me to point number three. And by the way, I have a whole course on this, all about how to master the dating stage of relationships, really enjoy the process of dating. You can check it out for free for 7 days using the link below. It's in our webinar library. It's our webinar style course. It has slides, everything there for you, and really dives into things in a lot of detail. And that brings me to number three, which is you have to make sure you are vetting. Vetting somebody is the whole purpose of having a dating stage of relationships. You are supposed to be looking for, who is this person? Are they going to meet my needs? Do I know my own standards and non negotiables? Do they meet the standards that I have? And that will also, by you focusing in on those things and trying to ask questions to see if your standards are met, to see if your non-negotiables are there or not, and you're in the clear. By having those conversations and positioning those questions, again, you put somebody in the place where they realize, I also have to show up for you. I also have to make the effort because you are your own whole person that's looking for specific things, just like I am. And this allows for an interdependent relationship to happen. And it allows for somebody to feel like, ooh, like I have to show up for you and put in that effort to sort of win you over as well. And that's when you're going to keep that dynamic of feeling like you are chased, you are pined after, instead of you being the people pleaser and giving all of that power away, that from a healthy perspective should be equally dispersed between two whole individuals who are vetting each other to see if this is a good and compatible fit. So I hope this makes sense. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to this channel. Please like it. And again, you can check out that dating course for free using the link in the description down below.